is a re-TV documentary. Episode 7 of the Crocodile Tears series. I actually used the wrong clip in episode 6 for Scott Peterson. If you actually want to see his Crocodile Tears, go check it out as I've re-uploaded the correct clip. Link in the description below. As usual, if you write shitty comments about independent creators talking about their content, jog right on. Also, the microphone I'm using is the one built into my MacBook. I have absolutely no intentions on spending any more money to create these videos for you to watch for free, so those who complain about the mic can also jog right on. Before we get into this episode, I want to know who still thinks that the JonBenet Ramsey case is a mystery. Certainly not any of the people who have subscribed to my exclusive content, that's for sure. I'm so confident that after watching the exclusive series on my website, that if after the 8 episodes that are currently live, you still believe that that case is a mystery, I will refund the couple of bucks that it cost you, and I will pay the transaction fees. Because I know that not only will this case no longer be a mystery to you, but you will always be waiting for the next episode of that series. I try to upload an hour of content to the exclusive series each month, and this month I've uploaded 3 episodes so far, I think probably around 2 hours. Derek Fleming.
At lunchtime today, detectives announced that a 51-year-old local man had been arrested in connection with Linda Fleming's murder.
So far, an extensive search by mounted police, tracker dogs and the Force helicopter has found no trace of Linda.
In January of 1993, we are told that Derek Fleming beat his 23-year-old daughter, Linda Fleming, over the head with a hammer at their home in West Yorkshire, and then he dumped her body in Halifax. When police searched their house, they found blood matching Linda's DNA on some of the tiles in the kitchen, heavy blood staining on a peg bag, and on the inside of the boot of the car. When faced with the evidence, he apparently broke down and confessed. He told how his daughter had abused him over the fact that he was having an affair, and during an argument at the house he beat her to death with a hammer. He said that he had no recollection of killing her and had forgotten about killing her after putting her body in the boot wrapped in polythene. He'd then gone off to work as normal, remembering only when he opened his boot later that day that she was still in there. He then drove to the moor and dumped her in a ditch.
The call for further help from the public remains, with the belief that it may now take just one piece of evidence to trap Linda's killer.
Before his arrest, Derek Fleming carried out a TV appeal in which he cried and begged for Linda Fleming to come home. Derek, Linda's brother and boyfriend, attended the press conference, and initially everyone suspected her boyfriend as he showed little emotion.
Was she depressed for any other reason?
No.
Linda was not depressed, and I do not want anybody to even think that Linda was depressed.
She was down at my house, and Mum and Dad knew she was there. She was staying over. She would even ring to tell them she was staying over, even though they knew she was there.
Linda, wherever you are, or for whatever reason, please come home, or just ring. We all love you, and we want you home with us.
The jury took 3.5 hours to unanimously find Fleming guilty of murdering his daughter. He admitted manslaughter, but denied murder. Ian Stewart, the cesspit killer.
Life is good again. I never thought I'd say it.
Hello.
I never believed it, but it's good again.
Hertfordshire Police, how can I help?
Hello there. My partner has been missing since Monday and not contacted anyone. Said she was going away, hasn't gone ended up where she said she was going. So we've just decided we should report it.
Oh, yes, hasn't been reported already?
No, it hasn't. No.
Okay, right. Has she been missing since Monday?
Yeah.
What's your partner's name?
Helen Bailey.
Helen Bailey. Is that B-A-Y-L-E-Y?
No, B-A-I-L-E-Y.
And what's her date of birth?
Oh, crikey. God, she phoned me there. 20 seconds. Right, just let me double check. 1 second. Oh, God.
From what I understand from what we've discussed and what I've been told by the investigation is that Helen was last seen on Monday, the 11th of April. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, would like you to take me through what happened that day.
The first bit I remember was we loaded the car, Helen loaded my car, with an old duvet and some boxes ready to take to the dump.
Ian Stewart thought he had executed the perfect murder after drugging and suffocating his partner, the successful children's author Helen Bailey. He dumped her body in the cesspit of their large home and tried to convince everyone she was missing. But the cold and calculating killer was eventually jailed for life for her murder. After his first wife died suddenly, Ian quickly moved on, preying on Helen Bailey, who was also a widow, after they met online. Stewart wooed the grieving and lonely children's author and quickly moved into her large home. He became the primary heir of her multi-million-pound fortune. When she died, he was in line to gain 2 homes, enough cash to ensure a very comfortable lifestyle, and pensions and life insurance payments from his fiancée. He brought his 2 sons, Jamie 24 and Oliver 21. I can't let that one slip by. Jamie, Oliver, get it? Fake, fake, fake. Anyway, he brought his sons to live with them, but they were apparently not home on the day she vanished, and so were duped by their father like everyone else. Video of the moment he was arrested in his dressing gown shows the stunned killer telling cops, "You're joking. I don't understand."
We're arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Helen Bailey.
You're joking?
And of disposing her body in a manner which will likely to instruct the coroner and theft of money of Helen Bailey.
Why? I don't understand. What's happened?
Stewart was found guilty of killing Helen Bailey and her pet dog in a bid to get his hands on her fortune. The pair had met on a Facebook group for the bereaved, starting a relationship within a year of Ms. Bailey's first husband drowning while on holiday. But as the relationship progressed, Stewart's plan unfolded as he slowly drugged the children's author over several months before suffocating her and throwing her body, and that of her beloved pet dog Boris, into a cesspit below their garage. Stewart, who had been named a potential beneficiary to her will 21 months prior to her death, had stood to gain millions from her investment portfolio, plus her properties in Royston, Hampshire and Kent. He had presented that Miss Bailey had wanted time alone, but was in the meantime transferring money to his own account, a move which later led cops to identify him as the prime suspect. He was questioned a number of times, giving officers confused answers and claiming he could not remember much about the day that she went missing. Cops eventually obtained a warrant to search their home, and when they discovered the septic tank, they spotted an arm protruding from the raw sewage, later recovered her body and that of her dog. Stewart's first wife, Diane, was found dead on the back patio of the couple's home, with her sudden, unexpected death ruled as being caused by her epilepsy. Her family revealed that they harboured concerns about her death, despite the death certificate stating that she had suffered a sudden, unexpected death in epilepsy after an inquest. Stewart received a number of lump payments after his wife's death, including a £33,000 life insurance policy. In August of 2018, police arrested and questioned Stewart over his first wife's death. He was quizzed on suspicion of her murder and released under investigation. The arrest came almost a year after Stewart was sentenced to at least 34 years behind bars for the murder of Helen Bailey.
Ian Stewart decided to kill Helen Bailey during the middle of the day on Monday, April the 11th last year because he feared his murder plot was about to be exposed. For weeks, he'd been secretly plying Helen with quantities of a sleeping drug called Zopiclone. The drug had been prescribed to him in January 2016 by his GP for insomnia, but he'd never taken it. Instead, he was administering it in increasing amounts to an unsuspecting Helen by slipping it into her food, probably the scrambled eggs he regularly cooked her for breakfast. Helen had started to notice that she was unusually tired, she was forgetful and sometimes felt disorientated. On one occasion, she'd spoken of not recognising her own hands. Stuart knew he had to act quickly because Helen was becoming concerned about the tiredness she was experiencing. He knew it would only be a matter of time before Helen went to her GP with her concerns and no doubt be given a blood test which would reveal the telltale presence of zopiclone in her system. Police think Helen was murdered at Hartwell Lodge sometime between late morning of April 11th and the early afternoon. Helen was a prolific user of computers and laptops. That Monday morning, she was again busy sending and receiving emails and texts, but suddenly, just before 11 a.m, all activity stopped. It's thought she was killed soon afterwards by Stuart, who smothered her, probably as she became drowsy from the zopiclone, and then dragged her body on a duvet out to the garage block where he dropped it down a shaft and into the cesspit. During the early afternoon of that day, the defendant had set about trying to alter a standing order that was already in place, paying £600 a month from Helen's Barclays account into a Santander account in both their names. Using his own computer, he created a new standing order for a new figure of £4,000 a month to come out of Helen's accounts and into the Santander account he would have access to. Ian Stewart was arrested by the police following the discovery of Helen's body and refused to answer any questions put to him by the police.
Morning, Ian. How are you? I'm Detective Sergeant Dave Sharp from Major Crime Team. Okay, we've got a warrant to search the address. Section 8, what they call Section 8 pace warrant. Do you just want to listen to what the officer's got to say?
I've got some more to say to you, Mr. Stewart, okay? I'm arresting you on the suspicion of the murder of Helen Bailey.
You're joking?
And of disposing her body in a manner to likely to instruct the coroner and of theft of money of Helen Bailey. Okay, so you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do mention in question something that you know to rely in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
I guess so.
Okay, alright, do you want to sit down?
Bloody hell, why? Okay, well, we're going to speak to you at the police station, right? So what needs to happen, you need to probably get some clothes on, okay, and then you need to go to the police station, and these officers will transport you to the police station, and then you'll have a charge of the interview at the police station, okay?
You're the last person to see her alive. You wait 4 days to report her missing. You're vague about your movements on the 11th, at best. Vague. You take a duvet to the tip on the 11th. You don't report her missing for 4 days. The following day you go to Broadstairs. I don't know why. Why did you go there? Did you see Helen on the 16th? Because according to the technical information we've got, her phone is in Broadstairs. And you're in Broadstairs. Was Helen there? She wasn't, was she? Or was she? You tell me. Did you kill Helen Bailey? Did you intend to kill her? Or was this an accident? What happened? Did you just lose control, just lose it? Some big argument and you killed her? And you've been covering up ever since? Because if that's what's happened, you need to tell us now. Because this could be your last opportunity to speak to the police about this. You are here on suspicion of murder. You need to tell us what happened. There is transactions where it clearly shows, from what I've seen, that you have taken money, or someone has taken money, which I believe to be you, from her account into your joint account, which you have obviously access to. Therefore, you've now got access to an extra £12,000. You will have benefited from her death, is that correct? Why do you say that? Financially, you would have benefited from her death, would you not say? Did anyone force you to carry out the murder?
He was charged with her murder and remanded in Bedford Prison to await his trial.
Mark Hacking. In July of 2004, Mark Hacking called 911 to report his wife Laurie missing. She was 27 years old at the time. Mark told police she had left home early for a jog but had not returned home or arrived at work. A woman who had said she had seen Laurie near the Grove that day later withdrew her claim. According to some family members, Hacking had told them that she was about 5 weeks pregnant when she vanished. She was planning to move to North Carolina, where her husband had said that he was about to start medical school at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. However, police say that Mark had never completed his undergraduate degree at the University of Utah, as he led family and friends to believe, and that the medical school had no record of him having ever applied. Shortly after his wife's disappearance, Mark was reportedly found running naked through the streets and was admitted to hospital for mental evaluation. While in hospital, Mark engaged a locally prominent defense attorney. In August of 2004, Mark was arrested on suspicion of the aggravated murder of his wife. Police believe that he acted alone, killing Laurie in their apartment with a .22 caliber rifle while she was asleep and disposing her body in a dumpster. They found blood in several places in the couple's apartment, including a knife located in the bedroom and on the headboard of the bed, as well as in Laurie's car. In addition, Scott and Lance Hacking, Mark's brothers, claimed that Mark confessed to murdering his wife after they confronted him on the 24th of July. First-degree murder charges were filed against Mark Hacking on the 9th of August 2004. In October, searchers found human remains in the Salt Lake County landfill. By that afternoon, police had confirmed that the remains were those of Laurie Hacking. The sum total of Laurie's remains were 2 teeth and a piece of bone the size of a quarter. Searchers also found the carpet that Mark admitted to rolling her body into before placing it in the dumpster. In October of 2004, Mark pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. According to investigators, on the night of the 18th of July, Laurie discovered that virtually everything that Mark had told her about his background was false, learning that he had never graduated from the University of Utah and had never applied to medical school. She wrote him a note telling him that she planned to leave him. Rather than risk divorce, he killed her. In April of 2005, Hacking pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in exchange for the prosecutors dropping other charges. In June of 2005, Hacking was sentenced to 6 years to life in prison, the maximum possible sentence under the Utah law at the time. In July of 2005, the Utah Board of Pardons declared that Mark Hacking would not receive a parole hearing until 2035. Meaning that Hacking will have to serve a minimum of 30 years in prison.
I woke up at about 8, recognized that she hadn't awakened me when she came home from running, but didn't think much of it. She often does that if I'm tired or something. She'll just, out of respect, I guess, just let me sleep. And I often drive her to work. Today she wanted to drive herself. And then I called her at about 10 o'clock to just say hi, see how she was doing, and they told me she... Sorry.
She never got to work.
She never made it in this morning.
Thanks for watching. If you got this far, I actually love you. If you enjoyed the content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to support this channel, smash that subscribe button now. What are you waiting for? A massive thank you to the people who have kindly supported my channel, the official ReTV supporters who sponsor this content. You guys are awesome. Peace. You've been watching a ReTV documentary.